This is a video that answers a question that was submitted again, and the question is, very few things spark joy in my life. I want to be happier, to feel joy more than I do. Well, the first thing that I would say is that if you aren't feeling joy in your life, it's because you're focusing on the negative things, the clouds, rather than the flowers in a picture, say. Let's say there's a photo and there's sunflowers at the bottom, a field of sunflowers. And the picture, the background, it's a cloudy sky, it's a cloudy day, it looks like rain. As a matter of fact, I posted a poster on my website that looked like this, and the caption I put on it is, you can choose to focus on the clouds, or you can look at the flowers. If you're having trouble finding joy in your life, I would suggest that you're looking at the clouds. Joy is all around us, and clouds are there at all times as well. None of us have a perfect life. None of us have a problem-free life. We have problems of one sort or another, and they come and they go. We might have happy times, we might have sad times. Everyone's life is filled with all kinds of ups and downs. So it isn't about wishing for a life where we have no problems, and when that day comes, we could be joyful. Because that's not going to happen. You're going to have periods where things are wonderful, the sun is shining, and you're going to have periods where it isn't. To be joyful, we need to look for joy, because it's always there. And so are the clouds. You get to choose which one you want to look at. So it starts with looking for joy. It's not about denial. It's not about saying, well, I'm going to pretend like there's no problems in the world and then I'll feel joyful. Well, you know you'd be lying to yourself. And it's unrealistic, and it's not necessary. What we do, and I brought this up in other videos, is we accept things as they are. So much involves living in the present moment, and that is a word, phrase, present moment, that's used. I mean, everybody uses it, and I suspect a lot of people, really, it doesn't connect with them. They don't know what is meant by that. Like, well, yes, okay, this is this moment, so now what? It's about accepting things as they are, but living in this moment. Then look for the good things that are in this moment. It might be those flowers we just talked about. You can choose to look at the clouds, but that's not going to help you any. It isn't going to make any difference. And what I've always thought is, if I have a choice, and in this moment right here, the two of us, if it makes no difference, why not? Why wouldn't I choose the joyful thing, the happy thing, in this moment? If there are problems in my world, in my life, I'll deal with them when I need to. I'll take care of them, I'll make those decisions. And I have problems right now, and I'm going to deal with them. But in this moment here, I can choose to be happy and joyful, and to look for the joy, look for the beauty in things around me, or I can choose not to. Don't choose to look at the negative, the dark clouds. You can realize they're there, but if you have the choice to be happy or not, Think about it. Why on earth would you demand to feel miserable? Misery, I guarantee you, is not solving a problem. If you're sitting there right now watching this video, intent on being miserable, you have to ask yourself, what are you accomplishing? Are you doing it to accomplish something, to resolve something, to solve something? You're not solving anything in this moment as you watch this, perhaps on your iPhone. So why would you choose to be negative and down at this moment? If you have problems, deal with them in an appropriate manner at an appropriate time. But say in this moment, which is a good exercise because you're not, presumably, not doing anything else right now but watching this or listening to it. Ask yourself why in this one moment, with all the problems you have and all the yuckiness in the world, why aren't you able to be joyful or happy in this particular moment? It's a deep question. It is easy to throw it off and say, well, Pat, that's ridiculous. With all the problems you just mentioned, no one could ever feel joyful or happy. And you will have missed the point about living in this present moment. It's a heavy thing. It's a simple thing. It's a heavy concept. And so many people engage in all sorts of philosophical undertakings, searching for answers when they realize, if they realize it, that they had that answer all along and that the answer was simple. The solution was simple. But we sure looked hard and long to find it. And in many instances, the meaning of living in this present moment and enjoying the beauty of this present moment and realizing that much of what we overlook is beauty takes a long time for that simple concept to be embraced by many, many people. But it starts with living in this moment. It starts with choosing to be happy. It starts with looking for the joy in this moment. And remember, I never said anything about denying that you have problems and, things like that, because we all have problems. Life, as Dr. Scott Peck once said in his book, The Road Less Traveled, he started it out with a 3-word sentence. The sentence is, life is difficult. That's the way he started his book. Life is difficult. There are ups and downs and sadness. There are terrible things that happen, as well as a lot of wonderful things. So, but in this present moment, you can choose to look at the joy. You can choose to look at the happiness. You can choose to appreciate what you have. And you know what happens then? Facing those problems that you have become easier. It doesn't make them go away. It makes them easier to deal with. It gives you more peace. Internal, personal peace. So you can find joy in your life. You can be happier in your life, and a lot of it is a choice. You have thousands of thoughts that go through your mind every day. Hundreds of thoughts that go through your mind every minute. You get to choose which ones you want to chew on, which ones you want to dwell on. So choose to be happy. Say, I'm going to look for the joy in this moment. When you see that photograph of the clouds and the flowers, you're directing your attention to the flowers is a choice you make. So think about that. It starts there. And the more you practice that, the easier it becomes to see the joy in everything, to interpret things that happen in a more positive manner. in a more gratifying manner, to be grateful. It's a frame of mind. It's a good place to start, and the more you practice on it, the more joyful you will become.